So we're going to see the once again scumbag Sebastian Gorka just showing how horrible he is, people within the Donald Trump administration are, and just anybody who is a bootlicker of Donald Trump. Let's watch this video in full and I'll give you my thoughts towards the end.
Sebastian Gorka is Deputy Assistant to President Trump and Senior Director for Counter-Terrorism on the National Security Council. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the show. Was the pause on tariffs for everyone but China part of the plan, Mr. Gorka?
Oh, everything is part of the plan, Tom. This is the man who wrote The Art of the Deal and has lived it for at least the last 50 years in the private sector. This is the man who defeated ISIS, crushed the caliphate, secured the border. Were you alive for the 4 years we were in the White House the first time? So yes, everything he does is done with utter intentionality.
Okay, so on Monday, when there was a rumour that the White House was going to pause tariffs for 90 days and that was denied, and then on Wednesday you paused tariffs for 90 days, what changed?
Nothing. The fact that you're listening to rumours. That's the only thing that changed.
The White House was, because the White House denied it.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Look, the fact is the fact.
So on Monday, there was no plan for 90-day pause.
What happened to Black Monday, Tom?
What do you mean?
Do you remember what the mainstream lying legacy media told us? Oh my gosh, the economy is going to crash. It's going to be Black Monday. That's weird. It didn't happen. And then the stocks rallied. So let's be very clear.
They're not back to levels they were.
Oh, really? Well, oh no, 6 days later, they're not. Shock horror. Look, here's the reality. I'm on the National Security Council. I pity my colleagues on the National Economics Council because they are deluged. Almost 100 nations, more than 75 heads of state are begging for phone calls with President Trump. That's the reality of what we're doing here. We are resetting the global economy because we are no longer the world's piggy bank.
And people don't get it, Mr. Gorka. People don't understand. Enemies of Trump don't understand this.
Well, it's either they don't understand it or they have vested interests in the stock market, in globalization, or they just hate my boss because they have Trump derangement syndrome. 8 years ago, TDS was, a joke. It was risible. Now it is a clinical condition, sadly.
Can I get your thoughts on whether or not Nigel Farage has also got TDS? Take a listen.
I've never agreed with the tariff policy. Do you know what? I think Trump did too much too soon, rather like Liz Truss did a couple of years ago. I've never in my life before seen stock markets fall quickly and bond markets fall at the same time.
Do you accept that criticism from Nigel Farage? Too much too soon?
Not in the slightest. Why would I? Why would I when we have almost 100 nations begging to talk to the president for equitable terms that actually create free trade that is fair trade? I love Nigel dearly, and thanks to him, you actually have an independent nation now, and you had Brexit.
So why is he wrong?
No, I don't have to agree with Nigel Farage, sorry.
So why is he wrong?
Why? Because he's not in the White House and he doesn't know the reality of how, as I said, I don't know, should I say the fourth time? Almost 100 nations are now negotiating with Scott Bessent, the Secretary of the Treasury, and with the National Economic Council and with President Trump. Why? Because it's the art of the deal. It has nothing to do with Nigel Farage. It's the art of the deal.
What does the president want from the UK in order to drop the 10% tariff applied to us?
It's not about individual countries, and as a politically commissioned officer of the president, I'm not going to tell another nation what to do, especially the land of my birth. I will say the advice to every nation. Every nation should drop punitive measures, be they tariff or otherwise, upon U.S. goods. If you want to do business with the biggest market in the world and the largest individual economy in the world, we will only do business with you if it is based upon fair and equitable trade. That is the advice to every nation of the world.
So, and that it would please the president, wouldn't it, to see Britain drop bans on chlorinated chicken, hormone beef, that kind of thing, coming from the United States?
I will say once again, you should stop having any punitive measures against U.S. goods. End of story, okay? It's really quite simple. When Canada has a sometimes 200% tariff on US dairy goods, when Japan puts a 700% tariff on US rice, how can you talk about free and fair trade? You can't.
Honestly,
Begging.
honestly, Sebastian Gorka, this is a smug, smug SLB. Seriously, the thing that confuses me, especially when it comes to this Donald Trump administration and a lot of his bootlickers and his lackeys that he sends out to be his mouthpiece, is that all of them seem to be in the know versus when everybody else and all the experts think completely the opposite of what it is that they believe. You know, just by taking a look, a lot of people and a lot of the biggest economists in the world, they think it doesn't make sense. A lot of the things Donald Trump has done in regards to tariffs. Why? Because the focus on trade deficits didn't really make sense because what Donald Trump was doing with his tariffs, they were based on reducing bilateral trade deficits. And economists will basically say that it's not a meaningful way to measure the health or the fairness in trade for other economies. It just doesn't make sense. Naturally, by way of him doing this, he spiked the costs for consumers. Naturally, he disrupted global supply chains all around the world, and he's starting to kick off trade wars with some of the other biggest economies that are out there in the world. All this is doing is really hurting other Americans, hurting Americans that are having to pay the price for the stupid war that it is that he has made in regards to trade. That's the problem with this. That's the problem with where it is that we're at and with what it is that Donald Trump has done in regards to tariffs. That's the problem and that's the issue. And that is the reason as to why we find ourselves in a position where China are not backing down from what it is that Donald Trump is doing. And they're not going to back down at all. And it's going to keep on increasing and the pressure is going to get more and more. And we've already seen Donald Trump already had to back off, pausing, doing a 90-day pause on tariffs. You see, he caved before anybody else did. And these guys keep saying over 100 countries are on the phone trying to get in touch. They keep saying over 100 countries. There is no factual proof of that whatsoever. And these guys won't say anything. They won't tell anyone. Why? Because what it is that they believe is they believe that by them saying this, people are just automatically going to believe them. Mad stuff. Sebastian Gorka, what a smug individual. As usual, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below this video. Let me know what you think about this exchange from Sebastian Gorka and the British reporter as well. While you guys are down there, hit that thumbs up, please, purely for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get it in front of as many people as possible. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, simply so that you can stay tuned to the channel and everything that's going on. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.